Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. That's right. You got the Koco crew here holding it down live. First, you got yours truly, the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right. Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RPA, Richmond, Virginia. And, of course, I couldn't do it without the busiest, hardest working man in all of Tokyo, Japan. He is an author. He is a actor somewhat. He is a podcaster. He's a producer. We're talking about the huge one, Dave Koco. Good to see you again, buddy.
Hey, what's up, man? You don't need to sleep. No sleep till Brooklyn or something. But yeah, exactly. We're late. We're minus our UK friend, and we're late because of Boom Boom. Boom Boom, would you like to apologize to the people?
I apologize, and especially to LK. I didn't know he was waiting on me, and so I'm sorry, man. I owe you one. I'll owe you one.
All right, everyone gets one. All right, so win, loss, or tie. Win, loss, or tie. Down in the comments, please put down below what you thought of it, win, loss, or tie. And if you can, we are doing a soft launch to the Secret Project. It's a community. It's prowrestling.me. Go check it out, and we'll probably pitch it stronger later this month and maybe at the end of the show. Booms, I say fucking win. Really good win. Like, I was depressed beyond fuck about pro wrestling. And this lifted up my spirits. I thought this was a huge win. What are you giving it? Win, loss, or tie?
Well, the question is, for the rest of the internet infantry, do you give it a win, or do you give it a win, or do you give it a win? I mean, it's a win. It's a win all around. It was a fantastic event. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think it was as good as TakeOver Brooklyn, but I still think it was a good show. I think it was a great show. Great, just amazing main event history. Right, we're going to get on to that. I think even the undercard matches were still presented and produced quite nicely. So yeah, it's definitely a win. I don't know what it is about NXT, but they can just really just get you so lost in that universe. It just pulls this raw emotion out of you, and you just feel like a wrestling fan again. And going to the main event, and I'm going to gloss over this before we go back and review the. We're just going to call it a pay-per-view for this show, for the sake of conversation. Particularly Bayley, because I don't know what it is about her, but every time she goes to that curtain, she makes me feel like I did when I was 6 years old. I started watching wrestling on the not black and white, on the rabbit ears. It's because back in those days, cable was like, I mean, dude, you were like a big shot if you had cable where I was from, because I mean, the cable companies wouldn't run out into the rural areas, so you had to get it through an antenna. All your TV had to get through an antenna. And I just remember, waiting for wrestling to come on, and sometimes have to turn the antenna on the outside of the house to pick it up, and just how excited I was when those guys came out. It makes me feel like that 6-year-old Booms did. And just God bless her. I mean, it's just infectious. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And
she's instant joy. I think her and Sami Zayn have something in common. It's when you hear the music and they come out and the crowd pops, it's just instant joy. And it's not forced joy. It's not, dun, 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 you got to like him. He's the underdog. You got to like him. You got to like him. You got to like him. No, it's like, no, I genuinely feel excited when these guys.
You know else who is really growing on me charisma-wise? Just charisma-wise and just that feel-good? Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews, when he walks out, he really gets me pumped up. I feel good when I hear that music hit and he comes out. He's just smiling and he goes out there and performs. I've got a big grin on my face. I just don't know what it is about him. It's getting contagious. And I think what separates NXT from the main rosters is they're believable characters. They're put in realistic situations. They have simple storylines. Because I mean, okay, you've got a championship. I want that championship. I'm going to wrestle you for it. Sometimes that's all you need. And then plus, there's no politics. There's the best wrestler who connects with the crowd gets the push. There is no, okay, we need to protect this person, or so-and-so doesn't want to do this. They don't want to job to that person. they think they should go over. No, there's none of that. It's just, and everybody there, at least from what I'm seeing on TV, works together. They work together as a cohesive unit. There's a lot of it's a team. It's a team I'm seeing out there with NXT as opposed to on the main roster. I see, I mean, there's some team players, but I see a lot of individuals.
Really? Who's the team player on the main roster?
Who would I on the team players?
Because I don't see any team players. I see people forced to put over John Cena.
Well, I'm just saying, outside of John, let's just take John Cena.
No. Anyone who wants WWE as a team player.
I think Dolph Ziggler's a team player.
Nope. I think he's forced to. I think he absolutely hates his fucking spot. I think he sells, and all that. But when he re-signed his contract, he's like, dude, hard work doesn't pay off. I don't think he's a team player anymore. I think at one time he's like, dude, I'm going to sell and be the best goddamn wrestler I can be. But I don't think he's a team player anymore. He re-signed his contract and doesn't give a fuck. Next, who do you think's a team player? I think there's people that are talented that are forced to be pieces of shit. I think there's zero team players on WWE. Zero. I don't think there's any team players.
I mean, I disagree. Yeah, I agree that, the aspect of, they're forced to put over John Cena, but I think for the most part, like Dolph Ziggler, if things so shitty, why did he resign?
Because he's probably fucking, it's easy.
You cannot tell me there's no way he wouldn't get a job anywhere else.
No, but it's guaranteed money. You have it, like, it's the biggest company. Why do people not go to be self-employed? Why do people re-sign with shitty agents? Why do people stay in a news station that they're not enjoying? Because a lot of human beings are like, no, I'll fucking dance with the devil I know. I'll dance with the devil I know.
That's fine, but we can agree to disagree on that. But let's get back to the point at hand. NXT Respect, live from Full Sail University. You ready to run this bad boy down, or do you want to look at some comments real quick? Not really comments, but I've been looking at tweets, and the Young Bucks actually sent out a retweet from Sid Vicious. I think this is fucking hilarious. And his tweet, and I'm going to paraphrase here, that he says that the reason Sasha's crying because she knows she's going back to Raw and become a part of the main roster.
That's a fucking shoot. I wouldn't. I wouldn't go to that fucking main roster. Really? I mean, a long time ago, it used to make me very angry that there was talented guys on the indies and the main event of WWE at the biggest stage is horrible.
Yeah, and I'm also seeing
focused on NXT. I mean, you just saw this women's match, and Nikki Bella is going to be the center of the women's division. I don't understand how you cannot be angry. I can't. I don't understand how you cannot be angry. But I don't know. I know what I think it is. Back in the day, when we were children, we looked up to people that worked hard. A Pete Rhodes, a Joe Montana who just wins. Nowadays, I think people look for the easy street. I don't think people look for the hard worker. I don't think people look for the hustler. I think people are like, oh no, just take steroids and home runs. Oh no, just fucking. I think that's why people like Nikki Bella and John Cena have a fan base, because in your wildest dreams, this generation doesn't see themselves as a hard worker and being the best. Mm-hmm. They want everything handed to them. And I don't know, like, it's weird. Like, you go to an indie wrestler, like, yeah, I'd love to be John Cena. He's not that good of a fucking wrestler and gets tons of money. Can you imagine that? Going in the 80s, 90s, hearing that from an indie wrestler? It's sad. And John Cena is the face of that. Nikki Bella is the face of that. You don't have to be the best to succeed. And be a star. That's what the fuck they're teaching.
And I see some other tweets here, and these from multiple people here actually admitting they legitimately cried after the main event.
There was a couple times I was like, stupid damn NXT allergies. Let me tell you something. If you got that, give yourself 2 Barry Horowitzes. If you didn't get that, dude, your life is incomplete till you see Ready to Rumble. Dude, I love that movie. I don't even care. Like, people are like, it's a horrible movie. I'm like, no. That would be a documentary of my life if I'd enjoyed the Marine Corps. All right, let's break this bad boy down. We will be getting to your live comments, so keep them coming. We're super late because of Boom Boom, so I imagine the live activity will be lowered. But, you know, I could do the right thing and share blame. Or I could just say it was Boom Boom's fault. It was Boom Boom's fault. Moving on. Boom Boom! Let's talk about the first match, shall we?
All right, let's talk about this. The first thing we have here is this first. It was a semifinal match in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. You had the team of Finn Balor and Samoa Joe teaming up to take on the tag team of Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. Well, Dave, I think it was a pretty good opening match. They actually created a lot of drama. I think a couple of things really stood out to me. Is one is really Dash and Dawson looked great in this tag team match. They had the veterans on their heels for, I'd say, a good 3/4 of the match. They were, I mean, it was good, some good ring psychology. They would cut a man off. They would isolate him from his partner, go knock the other guy off the apron if they got close. I mean, it was good tag team wrestling. Props to Finn Balor for selling the knee injury early on in the match. Now, somebody complained that at the ending, Samoa Joe hit the muscle buster, then tagged it. You know, Finn wanted the tag, and he came in with the double stomp, the coup de grace. Yeah. You know, like, well, why would he do that? Why would he do that? Oh my God, I can't believe he did that. That doesn't make sense.
But he still sold it, and he said he took the risk. Yeah, it's kind of like when Jeff Hardy jumps off the top of a cage. Let's be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's a risk. They're taking a risk for the reward, kayfabe-wise. Let's stay in this kayfabe universe where you're like, oh, he wouldn't do that. Would Jeff Hardy really jump off the top of a cage in a kayfabe? Like, if we're going to keep it real, would anyone even go to the top rope? Like, it's funny because, like, you know, he sold it. They explained it. He took a risk. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you see that all the time.
I understand people not selling, but he sold it and he took a risk. Because once you open a can of worms, who goes off the fucking top rope? Booms. Kayfabe wise, pro wrestling is 100% shoot. Are you ever going off the top rope?
Fuck no.
Yeah. All right. What were you saying? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was going to say, even in, you know, quote unquote legit sports, I mean, you do see athletes, you know, with injuries that go out and play anyway. I know in football, you know, linemen have had like a special cast made where they've had like broken hands, broken wrists, like a fractured arm, and they wrapped it up in a special cast and went out there and played. I know in the X game there was a guy who was bicyclist. He practically shattered his foot, but they built like a special cast inside like a shoe, and he went out and competed anyway in the X Games. Yeah. I mean, so you do see that actually happen in legit sports. People who are legitly hurt and then go out and they power through. And
I think these people would have had a point. I think these people would have had a point if he popped up and celebrated. Like, then I'm like, oh, okay, I see your point. But he didn't pop up and celebrate. He took a risk, won, and they showed him in the back hurt. So I think it just took a risk. So I enjoyed it. People are really, especially people that like are in the know, I guess, and people that work, are really putting it over Dash and Dawson. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that assessment. I think they need to get a tag team name because, I mean, just Dash and Dawson. I mean, it's not. I mean, come on. We got Dash and Dawson. Now we're going to have Jordan and Gable. We're going to have Blake and Murphy. I mean, it's just, come on. We need to get them a tag team name. And they've got a similar look going, which I approve of. But I really wish we could give them a name. And plus, I love their finisher, the Shadow.
Do you think they'll get named? Like, this is just a theory. I have no idea if this is fact. But do you think they'll get names once they go to WWE?
They'll have to, yeah.
Yeah, do you think, like, oh, you're just going to be this guy and this guy, but once you get to the WWE, you're going to be the next generation brain busters?
Yeah, well, I think so, because I believe that when Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy were working dark matches up with the Raw crew, I think they were being promoted as Team Soft.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really like the NXT Tag Team Division, the Dusty Rhodes Classic. So I like the first match. It was nice to see the Dream Team. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think they had to do the Finn Balor injury for two reasons. And this is just me thinking out loud. One, you don't want, your champion, I don't know. I just thought it was such a dream team that if Finn Balor wasn't hurt, there'd be nothing in the second round. You're like, of course Samoa Joe and Finn Balor are going to fucking win. You know what I mean? And the second thing is he doesn't take out all his moves to take away from that main event. Now, there's no facts behind that. That's more of me just thinking out loud.
No, that absolutely makes sense. I mean, for one, he sells, and you don't want to have them lose because you don't want to have, especially like you're kind of like, I don't want to say a new tag team, but a newer tag team. You don't want to see any of those beat your promotion's champion. You don't want to see that, but you want to create some drama. So it's like, well, I mean, it's like, oh yeah, it was a shoe-in. They're going to win. Oh, wait a minute, the champion's hurt. Can he power through? It's essentially going to be 2-on-1 now. Kind of create some drama. So I like that they did that. It created some drama, and plus, I also liked it because Balor didn't come out as the demon. He came out as the real rock and roller with the leather jacket.
Yeah. So I think the demon should only be on special occasions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the way it's been promoted, and that's what they're doing.
Not that this isn't a special occasion, but I think it should be just one-on-one. Because then Samoa Joe looks stupid. It's like, I'm Samoa Joe and fucking with the demon. I don't know. It just seems out of place.
All right.
The next, they do the other semifinals.
Yes, that was Jason Jordan and Chad Gable versus Rhino and Baron Corbin. This was the second semifinal match. I'll say, goddamn, I love Jordan and Gable. I wish they would get a tag team name as well. I mean, these guys are former, great amateur wrestlers. And Chad Gable, man, I think he really shined in this match. That basically was like a deadlift German suplex he did on Baron Corbin was just outstanding. I mean, watch that thing again in slow motion. I don't know how the hell he pulled that off, especially when a guy who's as big as Corbin.
I just want to say something right now, and I'll let you go. Right now it's a bad time for pro wrestling, even though this was a really good event. But man, what an age we live in for suplexes. I mean, every company is just doing some amazing things with suplexes. I've seen more beautiful / awesome suplexes this year than probably all of pro wrestling. I mean, this is the year of the suplexer. Go on.
I will also say, as much as we shit on him, I think this was one of Baron Corbin's best matches.
Yeah, really hit his weaknesses.
I think they need to keep him with Rhino. I think they really need to kind of keep him in the tag team, with the tag team right now because it forces him to work longer matches. He can take a break. It does hide his weaknesses. I mean, there was a lot of near falls. I mean, there was the reversal at the end of days. There was certainly a point where I thought Corbin and Rhino were about to lose this, and I mean the crowd was just eating it up.
This was an amazing match.
What more can we say about it? Jordan. Here's the thing: when they split up Jason Jordan from Ty Dillinger, I was like, okay, this, you better have something special planned for him. And then I questioned the decision to have him put in another tag team because I was like, well, what was the point of breaking him up with this tag team partner to get him out of this tag team to go put him in another tag team? It doesn't make. But now that I see it, WWE, I'll eat some crow. I will say that was not Solomon Crow, but I will, eat some crow and say that WWE, this was a good decision. This was the best decision you could have made. I like Chad Gable. I like Jason Jordan. I absolutely love the match. It was just a phenomenal match. I love I can't say much how much I enjoyed the tag team psychology, the reversals, but ultimately Corbin managed to hit the end of days on Gable, and they got the win. This is one. I think this was an underrated match, and I think you should really go check this out.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match a lot. I love Jordan and Gable. I've never fallen in love with a tag team that fast in my life. This is a letter to indie wrestlers who can't technical wrestle but say they're technical wrestlers, but really they just suck. No, Jason Jordan and Chad Gable are amazing technical wrestlers. So when you come up with your shitty fucking headlock for 8 fucking minutes and go, I'm a technical wrestler. No, you just fucking suck. Chad Gable's a technical wrestler. That's a fucking difference. Overall, I was shocked that Gable and Jordan didn't win. I thought they were going to win.
Oh, I thought so too. They were my picks to go to the finals.
Yeah.
Came close.
Good.
I said they came close, but close only counts in hand grenades, horseshoes, and nuclear warfare.
Yeah, and Corbin and Rhino I think is good. I think Corbin really hit his weaknesses and looked amazing. And Rob and others, but Rob is the first one I remember saying this from KocoSports. Rob from KocoSports and a couple other guys. Corbin, I think maybe the Wrestlerant did said this. Corbin would be a great person for the third member of the new Shield. Get rid of Randy Orton and put Corbin there, because then the Shield can hide his weaknesses and he can grow as a wrestler. But his one-on-one squash matches hit his weaknesses. Then he kind of came undone, and you could see it. And then he did the old "I hate the internet," which, like, okay, like it didn't make sense. And then his weaknesses unraveled. But in this tag team with Rhino, they hit his weaknesses again. And this is probably his best match that I've seen, this semifinal match. But I enjoyed it a lot. And Jordan and Gable is just fucking pure money at everything. I'd love to see those guys go. All right, so next, mark out time. Mark out motherfucking time, folks.
Dave, I got to ask you, how many tissues did you go through in this match?
Too many. I love this woman. I love everything about this fucking woman. Boom, you break it down, because after that, I'm just going to scream how awesome Kana is over and over and over.
For those keeping score at home, this was the match between Asuka and Dana Brooke. It started out with, obviously, Dana Brooke disrespecting Asuka. She kind of played around with her a little bit, locked her up in some submission holds, particularly like a chicken wing, kept rolling with her. And then apparently Brooke had enough and patted. She'd actually got out, hit an elbow, then did her little head pat on Asuka, and then the whole crowd started chanting, "You fucked up." And then Asuka just proceeded to destroy Dana Brooke right there in the fucking ring. I mean, she took this woman apart. Started kicking. I mean, delivered some vicious heel hooks, ankle locks, knee bars, that German suplex. That it's like this one where she kind of has had Dana Brooke's leg behind her, then locks her almost like a half Nelson, then suplexes her over. That was fucking awesome, by the way. Eventually locked on a new submission hold. They're going to call it the Asuka lock. It's like a chicken wing / body scissors combination. Brooke taps out. Asuka is enjoying it. Brooke tried to go back in there and, pick another fight. She got the shit kicked out of her. Emma, she kind of teased like, okay, no, I really don't want any from that. And then that match ended. I think it was a great debut for Asuka. I like that they have been acknowledging her accomplishments in Japan. I like that they did. They mentioned how she chose her name. That's to respect to the Lioness Asuka, one half of the Crush Gals. Which, by the way, look that up. There was actually a great article. It was done on CagesideSeats.com. I may have to try to I provided a link to it in one of my past review here, but I think it's worth mentioning. Again, they talk about the parallels between women's professional wrestling in the United States and Japan. And then again, as you go into Japan, you learn more about the Crush Gals, the Jumping Bomb Angels, Nanako, Aja Kong, all these. I mean, just these phenomenal matches. It's worth a read. And I think Asuka's addition to the NXT roster shows that this whole Divas Revolution, this is a long-term goal. This isn't just something, okay, we kind of caught lightning in a bottle, let's kind of milk it for everything it's worth. No, this is reloading. This is, okay, we've just sent 3 of our best girls up to the main roster. It's time to reload now. And this definitely sets the bar. I think ultimately, after tonight, I really want to see Bayley, Asuka, NXT Women's Championship in the near future. I want to see that probably. Dave, I'm going to set the over under 6 months. Do you think we see that match over or under 6 months from now?
I just hope so. I'm gonna say I think it happens in the UK. The next big event, I think it has to happen, but I could be wrong. But I'm just a huge fan of Kana. I'm glad she's here. I'm glad WWE is showing her respect. I even joked because they had Kenta and Funaki in the crowd, and then they had Kana in the ring, and I was like, you know, Vince isn't running NXT when you see 3 Asians on one show. But overall, I'm just a huge fan of Kana, and just like Yuha Nation, you've only seen like 10% of what she does. And the funny thing is, I kind of respect Dana Brooke. I know she just got her ass whooped, but I knew nothing about Dana Brooke. I didn't have a strong feeling one way or the other on her. But she held her own in a WWE-style match against Kana, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the match a lot, and hopefully she becomes a big star.
Yeah, I think Dana Brooke did okay for her role. I think she's kind of notorious because she fucked up big time at the last NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. She was supposed to break up a pin between Emma and Becky Lynch, and was not. I mean, when I say she was out of place, I don't mean like she was a step too slow or she was. No, she was way the fuck over there. She was supposed to be right here. She was way the fuck over there. Wasn't even in the fucking ring.
When the camera shines on her, she has a candy apple and cotton candy. Like, oh fuck, am I supposed to be somewhere?
They might as well. They might as well. And you can see this look on his face like, oh, fuck, am I in trouble? I just won this match. I was not supposed to. Shit, I hope I'm not in trouble.
Like, this is Walmart all over again. But, yeah, I enjoyed the match. I marked out for Kana. And you know what? WWE might be shitting on all these great international indie talents, even former TNA talents. But I don't think NXT is shitting on them. And that's why I can't wait for Triple H to take over. I just can't wait. I mean, because right now we're high as fuck on Kana, and hopefully she stays in NXT for a really long time because then they'll air it here on J Sports. But on top of that, it's you have fucking Kana, and what's the end game? She has to put over Nikki Bella. What if we got rid of the Nikki Bellas and the John Cenas and the Kanes, and we just had good wrestling? What if that happened? That would be what if it was like, oh, Kana, the final endpoint is Charlotte. But that's not the way WWE is set up. The final endpoint is, oh, you have to put over Nikki Bella. And that's fucking just depressing. But overall, I thought the match was amazing. I saw a couple things on the chat and all that she doesn't look like a model. But I don't think women wrestlers and women wrestling. I don't think wrestlers. Period.
Who doesn't look like a model?
Kana. Yeah, but I don't think.
I'm just saying, bro. I wouldn't kick her out of the sack. I'm just saying.
I think she's beautiful, but that's just me. But
because
on top of that, it's just I don't understand where looks and pro wrestling come together. Like, then just go watch bodybuilding. I don't fucking get it. Like, no one, not one fucking person bought one less ticket to George Foreman or Fedor or BJ Penn. Not one person. Like, whoa, Fedor's going to wrestle in Japan? Well, he's got a little tummy. For a fuck, I'm not going. No one ever said that. And then you wonder why people are like, oh, wrestling fans are gay. Well, I'd like to say, no, it doesn't matter if you're gay. But second off, no, they're not gay. All of them are gay but then you hear stuff like, oh, she doesn't look like Lex Luger. It's like, dude, I don't understand it. Like, I have no idea. It blows my mind. I know, like, I understand if you're, like, selling Nike shirts or tap-out shirts. Sure, okay, whatever. You want a fucking model chick, whatever. But to actually be in the ring and perform, what does it matter? Look at other women athletes. Some of the best women athletes in the world are not that attractive. So, I don't know. But I think she's a beautiful woman. And I hope that she does absolutely amazing things. So, I'm a huge fan of Kana. And Now it's starting to feel more like a KocoSports Dream card than an NXT card because we go from Kana to Yuha Nation. Oops. Welcome to breaking down KocoSports Dream booking game that we stopped doing. But there you go.
Yeah, Apollo Crews versus Tyler Breeze. I like the psychology in this match. Apollo Crews did a great job of selling like an injured back. Tyler Breeze, I honestly thought he was going to take home the win because I was like, there's no way that they're going to have Tyler Breeze, lose 2 times on these big events. But, a tweet that we saw from WWE Creative Humor, which is something funny to follow along on Twitter, says at this point, Tyler Breeze is our go-to guy when we need to make someone look great. Maybe Lance Storm knows what he's doing.
I like the fact that people call him the Dolph Ziggler of NXT. Here's the thing about good booking that a lot of people don't understand. When the fans get into the action, like they did for this, like they did for the main event, when they get into the action so much and believe, because of one thing, the fan, no matter how smart they are or how, jaded they are, believe both guys deserve to win. And when you have a match between 2 wrestlers where the fans go, both these guys are awesome, even if they do have a favorite, and even if one's a heel, and they go, both these guys are awesome, both these guys deserve to win, that is when pro wrestling magic happens. Because you can have a great match, but if you don't have those 2 elements of booking, you just have a great match. But when you have those 2 elements of booking, where the average / smart, whatever, a fan is watching this goes, I like both guys and respect them, and they both deserve to win. Then you follow that up with a good match. That is what makes professional wrestling the best entertainment in the world.
Let me say this, Dave, and this is something that drives me crazy about WWE, particularly. Whenever the fans, bitch about Raw, they bitch about the bad wrestling. They're like, well, they're the wrestling fans, they're marks, the IWC, they're greedy, whatever, what have you. But those same fans who boo the shit out of Raw, who say that's boring, who boo John Cena, who say, they're tired of Kane, they're tired of, Roman Reigns, they're tired of all this. When those same people turn around and cheer NXT and what they're doing there, when they're busting their asses, it's like they don't know what the fuck to do. It's like, look, this isn't like we're shitting on Raw for the sake of shitting on Raw. We're shitting on Raw because it sucks. It's boring. But we'll also recognize when people are putting in hard work and putting on good matches and there's a good presentation, there's good storylines, and we'll cheer the hell out of it. We'll chant. I mean, hell, they were loving it. So
the chant of the night, though, the chant of the night was better than Raw. Because they're like, all right, shut that fucking, turn those mics off.
Oh, yeah, I think they got maybe that out 3 times before.
Yeah. But Apollo Crews does defeat Tyler Breeze, and it's fucking magic, man.
What did you think about what did you think about Apollo Crews' finisher? He did something different. Now, remember, he did the gorilla press slam, and he was going for that somersault, and Tyler Breeze grabbed his leg, and he went for it, and he was reversed. I thought the match was going to end right there, but no, it kept going. But he did it. It was like a sidewalk slam, like a setup, and then picks him up, spins him around, boom, brings him down into a power bomb. That was fucking awesome. That's all strength right there.
Yuan Nation is one of my favorite wrestlers, and he can just do all the moves. Like, how there's a player set? Like, how you create players in video games? And you're like, Yuan Nation, what move can he do? You just select all of them. He can do all of the moves. Like I said, you've only seen maybe 10 to 15% of Yuan Nation's abilities.
All right. Now, Dave, do me a favor. I want you to put on your booking cap. Now,
right.
if you're booking NXT and you've just completed this event, where does Tyler Breeze and where does Apollo Crews go from here?
Apollo Crews, I just keep pushing the main event. Maybe 2 more feuds. I'd do 2 more really, really good feuds for him, and then who would never lose? You didn't watch no KocoSports Dream. I made Yuhan Nation with everything. I would have him go undefeated. I would have him just feud with great wrestlers, and then when the opportunity is open, Yuhan Nation would go for the title. I would actually I wouldn't have Yuhan Nation lose the title until he was a full timer in WWE. I would just have it that way. Like I would have, you got Kenta, you got Joe, you got that. Like I would get the major feuds out of the way, and then Finn Balor would have to lose to Yuha, and then I would just keep Yuhan Nation on top until he went up. That's how I would book it. As far as Prince Pretty, he's stuck. He is completely stuck, and I'd just steal something from you. I would bring him up and team him up with The Miz. And the reason I say he's completely stuck is he's better than almost everyone in WWE. Like, he's top-tier WWE guy. He's not top-tier NXT guy. And he's been in NXT for like 7-8 years, and they keep getting these indie darlings. And you imagine, the guys that they're going to bring in from TNA. You imagine the guys they're going to steal internationally wise. Because the thing is, I think there'll be a lot more Japanese talent now that they see Kana and Kenta as not being disrespected. Because that's why Okada and Tanahashi turned them down. So, like, people have turned them down a lot because they're like, why? Why would I want to be a fucking stereotype racist fucking idiot? But now they're like, no, look, we can book Japanese people. So you're going to see a lot more Japanese talent. Hopefully they get a lot more luchadors in there. And I think Prince Pretty is completely stuck. He's like, I am not a main eventer on NXT, and I'm better than, I'd say, 70% of the WWE roster.
Yeah, let me ask you this.
You have to send them up.
During, WWE's conference call, and people were asking a lot of questions of Triple H. They're asking him, what are they, now that they've kind of, grown NXT, what it is they've, improved. And when I say improved, I mean completely overhauled and revolutionized the women's division. They said, well, what do you do now? And he says, well, I like to maybe focus on, and I'm paraphrasing here, Triple H said something to the effect of, I'd like to, maybe focus on, something different that's been abandoned that the fans kind of want is the cruiserweights. Yeah. And it's like, but as far as creating like a secondary title, he says, he's not really interested in doing it right now, but he hasn't ruled it out. Can you see something like a cruiserweight title or a light heavyweight title or a junior heavyweight title? Do you think that could, an introduction to something like that could really be something to springboard Tyler Breeze?
A possibility, but I don't think I would bring up the title because the problem is you take away a lot of great main eventers. Like the reason they got rid of the cruiserweight title because, Jericho and Rey Mysterio and guys like that main evented. I wouldn't say it's a cruiserweight title. I would just make the Intercontinental title that. I mean, what is the Intercontinental title doing now? Nothing. What's the U.S. title doing now? Nothing. Don't say it's a cruiserweight title. Just book the best. Because the Intercontinental title for a long time in WWF history was the best wrestler in the company. Like, you had Hogan and Cena and superstar type guys, where all the marketing went. And then there was the Intercontinental title, which is the best wrestler. Well, don't call it a cruiserweight title. Just put the best wrestlers there, and you'll find out most of the best wrestlers are cruiserweights.
Well, so in other words, you are in favor. So in other words, you are in favor of adding like maybe a secondary title, secondary singles title.
No, well, I wouldn't add it. I would just change it. Like, who has the Intercontinental title now? Is it Ryback? I don't fucking know. It's one of those fat guys. Oh, it's Kevin Owens. He's perfect. Mm-hmm. Have Kevin Owens get rid of fucking Ryback, and then just be like, hey, Kevin Owens, you're a fat, tubby piece of shit, but you're a great fucking wrestler. Stop fucking trying to be heel. No one's not going to like you, you fat, tubby shit. Then I would just fucking let Kevin Owens be that guy and then just slowly but surely bring in cruiserweights to fight Kevin Owens. And then Kevin Owens, like, that's it. Have the Intercontinental title. I don't think you need to bring a cruiserweight title.
No, I'm not. When I say that, I don't mean necessarily into WWE. I mean into NXT.
Oh, no, I don't think so. Not now. Maybe in the future. Not right now. It's only a 1-hour show. Once you get past the main event and high mid-card, the talent really drops off. So I would do it in the future, like when you're like, wow, there's too many guys and it's stacked. Then I would. But right now, I'm with Triple H. I would wait off on that.
Okay, interesting. Okay, real quick, gonna go to some comments. First out, sorry this is taking so long to get to it, but LA and DC, he says, "You guys are the greatest." Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the kind words.
And then I am Mikey Mike Ashman. He writes, NXT has continued to raise the bar for their major special event show after the women got a well-deserved booked main event match. How many more 4 to 5-star NXT shows will it take to make the main roster step up to this level? NXT, when they produce a grade A pro wrestling, I forget that it's still WWE. LOL.
As long as Kevin Dunn's in there, wrestling won't matter. As long as Vince McMahon's balls rest on Kevin Dunn's chin, it won't matter. When Vince McMahon takes his balls off Kevin Dunn's chin and something changes, then maybe. But as long as Kevin Dunn rests 2 giant, big bad fucking testicles right there on the fucking chin, nothing will change.
Well, I mean, I think right now, I mean, a big indication of that WWE notices how good NXT shows are. Remember, they did not run a NXT special event before WrestleMania. Remember, they had to do that back in January rather than I think it was January rather than April. Nothing, that was February when they did that. I'm sorry. And they went head to head, at SummerSlam, and I think the NXT show blew them away then. And then now they just went back, and now they're doing it before Hell in a Cell, which is really not a big pay-per-view for WWE standards. And they're going to do it again in December. I kind of like this whole doing it every other month. I think that's actually perfect for NXT. Do it every other month. Good build. I think you got plenty of time to build up things. I think that's a great idea. Let's see. Mike Ashman again. He says Kana is dangerous to this NXT women's division. Watch the Bellas retire once Kana makes it to the main roster just to escape being fucked up by the real deal.
So there you go. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, when someone talented comes into WWE, it's always the same thing. I hope it doesn't get fucked up. That's it. So
You want to do some more, or do you want to keep going?
Well, let me. You ride YouTube. I'll ride the other guys.
Okay, I'm on YouTube. So
I got a couple right here. Facebook,
okay,
dude. Here's the thing weird about Facebook. There's a guy that has a conversation with me, has no name and no fucking graphic, and I'm just like,
creepy.
but he knows. I know it's kind of creepy, but he knows like everything we do. So I'm like, is this a close friend? Is it not a close friend? Like, it's so weird because, like, I don't bring up stuff in conversation. He's like, oh, what about this? What about that? What about that? I'm like, and now it's kind of weird because I've already responded to him a couple times, but I'm like, dude, you have no name and no Facebook. Should I, like, mention that? So from Facebook Mystery Guy, all right, he says he's going to watch the review. Also, I just want to say KocoSports Stream booked Kana and Yuhan Nation strong as fuck and hyped them up as the front of our brand. Yeah, well, you know what? KocoSports Dream is changing pro wrestling forever. WWE NXT gets both consistently books them back to back. Oh, gets them both and then books them back to back. Dave, I think they want you to love them. Yes, mystery Facebook friend. I think you're right. Andy Papp says, huge win. In a dream world, NXT would replace Raw. Hopefully one day that happens. NXT is the best pro wrestling in the United States. Well, that Lucha Underground's not there yet. NXT is this generation's ECW. Some aspects, yes. Some aspects, no. How did Kevin Dunn get so powerful? It's just an ass-kissing environment. You know, he just kissed ass and got to the top. I mean, when you and Vince McMahon, you know, it's just the same reason Sheamus got to the top. It's just, you know, ass-kissing gets you to the top, man. It's a very ass-kissing society. That's one thing that I always tell people that, like, want to go backstage and people that want to go, dude, or people that want to work in wrestling. Dude, ass-kissing is a huge factor, bro. A huge factor. And if you ever go backstage at any fucking wrestling company, dude, you're going to be disappointed. You're just going to be like, oh, I don't know. It's not. I've been backstage at Lucha events and I wasn't that disappointed. And I've been backstage at Japan. But I'm saying WWE, TNA, NXT, FCW, you go backstage to those big events, you're going to be disappointed. You're like, oh, wow, that's what you have to do? I guess. And there's a difference between paying your dues and blowing the fucking Vince McMahon in front of everybody. There's a huge difference. And I don't think this generation understands that. There's a huge difference between being a good employee and working hard and sucking cock. Please, know there's a difference. Oops. You figured out the difference?
I know what the difference is. And yeah, I don't know if I could work for WWE because I just don't know if I could just sit there and kiss ass while the whole ship is sinking.
All right, and on KocoSports.net internet infantry chat, we haven't got a fucking comment here in a while. You act like we're launching a new secret project, ProWrestling.me. Nice recap. Kana is awesome. Or he used Asuka.
There you go.
Boom, there you go. And I guess we'll get back to YouTube more. Let's review these last two because you're getting sleepy and I got to eat lunch. So let's review these last two matches and then we'll do some more live comments and wrap it up.
All right,
Oops, drive the bus.
All right, next we went to the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We had Finn Balor and Samoa Joe taking on Rhino and Baron Corbin. Of course, the story is, Finn Balor's not at 100%. His knee's hurting him. And can they go the distance against these two monsters? Well, actually, Balor started the match out. I think that was a big one. Steam eventually picked up on this. Dave, sorry, I lost my place here. But Joe, he eventually got in there and saved Balor. Started hitting some forearms, a headbutt. But wound up getting choke bombed by Corbin, and he started throwing some lefts and rights. Rhino comes in to pick up the business starts to pick up here, starts putting the boots to him. A little bit later in the match, Corbin, he threw his Balor's leg into the ring post again. They're selling that injury on the champion. Keeps the pressure on him. Balor, he managed to create some separation. He eventually went in and got a hot tag to Samoa Joe. He comes in there, starts to get to work on Rhino, starts hitting a lot of chops and punches. I like the gore that Rhino laid down on Joe. Balor wound up making the save for his partner, broke up the pin. Corbin, he gets taken out of the ring by a clothesline with a DDT. After a DDT, Joe sidesteps a gore, hits a muscle buster on Rhino. Balor comes in with the coup de grace. They get the win. They bring in this huge trophy, and I will say that trophy looked fucking amazing. They brought in the entire Rhodes family. You had Dustin Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, his daughter, his wife, Eden Styles, Cody's wife. They were all snapping pictures. It was just I thought, in my mind that, okay, you're going to have Samoa Joe turn on Finn Balor right here, and that's going to set up a main event for December and over in London, England.
I thought the same thing, but I'm glad they didn't go that way.
I'm glad they didn't. Seeing this, I think they just wanted to keep it classy. If this would have been up on the main roster, I think they would have done that. But I think this is NXT, and a lot of those people, hell, everybody there, owed some part of their career to Dusty Rhodes. They had a lot of respect for him. And they're like, you know what? If we're going to do something like that, let's just not do it a part of this. Let's give the man his moment. His whole family's there. Let's not ruin this or shit on it at the very end just for the sake of a wrestling angle. And I think they showed a lot of class. There was a lot of pictures there, and I think it was a feel good moment.
Yeah, and not all that, but I enjoyed it. I thought the first two the semifinal matchup rounds were better than this match, but I think this match they were trying to tell a story, and the Rhodes brothers came out just as themselves, out of character, and I was just like, stupid NXT Dusty Rhodes allergies, especially when he's like, oh, people at NXT called him the Oak, I just called him Dad. I was like, oh.
That was a good one. Here's another thing. And I'll say this about the Full Sail crowd. As rowdy as that crowd gets, when Cody Rhodes started speaking, you could have heard a pin drop in that building. Everybody was on their feet. Everybody was quiet. Everybody was respectful. There was nobody trying to get any cheers or, yeah, Cody or Dusty, woo. There was none of that. Everybody was quiet. They were respectful. So, my hat goes off to the Full Sail crowd for that moment. I mean, there was a time and a place for everything, and they knew what the appropriate response was, and they did it. And so, it seems like a little thing, but in this day and age, showing class goes a long way.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it, and I was glad to see Dustin out there, former ACW champion, and Cody. Just, I don't know, it was just a classy situation, and it was a feel-good situation that doesn't happen much in wrestling, and it wasn't a fake. It wasn't fake, you know what I mean? It just felt real, and people enjoyed it. So, and here's the thing: when it comes to stuff like this, I don't want to be negative, but I want this to happen every year. Like, same thing with Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Dusty Rhodes tournaments.
I believe somebody
want
called
it to happen every year.
I believe the commentators called it the inaugural Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, or the first ever. So it may seem like this may become an actual thing.
I really hope it does. In my opinion, it has to. And all that, but, A, it made house shows seem more important, and B, during a downtime, there was something intriguing about it, and C, you let someone else main event because the champion was going for it. So I really enjoyed it, and hopefully they do it every year. It's just something nice, So I enjoyed it. All right, you ready for the main event?
Whew, hang on.
You got like, they had to go to commercial too. Did you notice that? Like, after the Dusty Rhodes thing, like, maybe we should have went to live comments here like WWE did. You're like, oh, Dusty Rhodes. All right, let's go to commercial, fucking regroup. The main event, the crowd, the atmosphere.
I gotta take a deep breath for this one, because the atmosphere wise was it was a great main event. They brought both competitors out there to just their music. Then they did the big introduction. Later, they were going to go, 30 minutes. This is the first time in NXT, and I believe this is the first time, at least since Lita versus Trish Stratus for the WWE. I think it was WWE by then. WWE Women's Championship. Excuse me. I think this is the first time since then women have main evented a WWE.
Well, a real main event, not fucking it's a 6-man tag and then we have 9 segments after it.
I mean, just like a main event here. I know it was definitely the first time in NXT history. Actually, I think it was Kyle Edwards on WWE had mentioned something that this was the 7th. No, there was actually 7. So this would have been the 8th televised Iron Man match in WWE history, and 4 of those times out of the title changed hands. So, interesting little factoid there.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. I like the fact that they said why they were wearing the colors. I don't know. I thought the announce team did a great job this match.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you had Byron Saxton, who usually gets shit on Raw, but he actually had a chance to talk.
Well, and here's the thing about Byron Saxton. I watched him grow up in Orlando, in his backyard. I was like, hey, Brian. I watched him. He's really good. I just think when he got on the big stage of Raw, he choked like a motherfucker and has never rebounded from that.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
And then, God, what's his name? Fuck, I can't think of it.
Tattoos?
Yeah, the tattoo. Shit. Corey Graves. Fuck, I just blanked there like all the fucking sudden. Sorry. And I think
and then he had to fake Joey Styles.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call him Joey Styles Jr. I don't know if that's his birth name.
I don't think so either. But okay, so they started the match off, and this was actually kind of fun. I don't know if this was a positive or a drawback, but Sasha Banks was having a tough time staying in character. Like, when she came out, I mean, she was all smiles. I mean, she knew she was making history. She was soaking this up. She was eating every damn second of it up.
How do you feel about that? Because I love shit like that, because it makes it seem so fucking real.
I know. I'm not really necessarily complaining. I'm just making an observation that, Banks, I mean, she was smiling. I mean, she did not look like a bad guy when she came out. I know eventually she went into character, and we'll get into that in just a second. But they're having a tough time, and it's just like, it's like they had this moment beforehand, where just the way it appeared, it was like Bayley and Sasha Banks were kind of staring down like, holy shit, we're here. we're doing this. We're main eventing. They're taking women's wrestling seriously. We're, everybody's watching us. They're cheering for us. The fans want this, and they did not. They didn't touch each other for the first minute. If you'll go back and watch the replay, I think it was just past 1 minute before they actually touched and locked up. I mean, they're really selling that. I think, just the whole atmosphere. People were chanting that this was wrestling. This is awesome. And they hadn't done anything yet. And that just lets me know that, they were, WWE, for all their drawbacks, at least, but with NXT, that's a good moment when you can have the crowd just completely losing their minds and enjoying the match before anything's actually done. You're on the right track.
Yeah, just the atmosphere alone, the storytelling, the match itself. I don't know how much you want to break this down, but just the little girl crying, people being into it, people buying into it. It was just.
I'll do like a quick synopsis of it, and if you haven't seen this match, I would recommend you go check it out. But Sasha Banks went up early, 1-0. There was several spots where like the girls were going to run into the referee, but they would stop at like the absolute last second to avoid hitting the referee. When it was Sasha's turn, she stopped and turned around, and she had the referee backed into a corner and had her back on the referee's face, and that's when she thumbed Bayley right in the eye, rolled her up, got the 1-2-3. Bayley recovers. She comes back. She gets out of the double knees. Snatches Banks out of the air, drops her on the face of the turnbuckle, then hits her, then takes her off the turnbuckle with a Bayley to belly, then gets a pinfall, so it's tied up 1-1. This quickly degrades, and then you can see Banks finally go into character as the heel. She catches Bayley with that corner drop kick, throws her into the ring steps, picks her back up, throws her in it again. Throws her back in the ring, doesn't get the near fall, takes her back to the outside, throws her into the Titantron at the back, gets back in the ring, gets a count out. And now here's where she did something that I don't know if I would have done. I think she snatched a bow off Izzy's head. And for those of you who don't know who Izzy is, that's just an 8-year-old girl who she sits right there at ringside. She's Bayley's #1 fan. She dresses just like her. In fact, she was allowed to go in the ring with her. I think about a couple of weeks ago, about 2-3 weeks ago. She actually Bayley took her into the ring with her, did the whole intro with her and everything. She took the bow off Izzy's head and just kind of skipped around the ring with it, taunted her, and then threw it back. And that girl was crying. Now, the reason I say I don't know if I would have done that is like, okay, if everybody knew about it beforehand, if Izzy was cool with it, or her parents were cool with it, yeah, I say go for it. But spontaneously, I just don't know if I could do that. Even if I was a heel performer. Dave, I know sometimes there's lines and stuff, and I understand that, no harm, no foul, but would you have, done that if you were like a heel or a wrestler or hell, as a promoter? Would you have let one of your heels do that?
We ran shows in some pretty rough neighborhoods, and we had a rule: you can't touch the audience, but if the audience touches you, you beat the hell out of them. And that was a very strict rule. That's just how we ran it. We didn't have people touch, the crowd members. Obviously high fives, running by, and all that stuff. But outside of that, I was like, no. If you saw something, we did, because it was a different time. So we had, females get thrown into the ring and power bomb through tables, and we knock out fans. But spoilers, 12 years later, because obviously, the live audience bought into it, those were all plants. If you saw a wrestler knock the fuck out of a fan, it was either A, because he jumped into the ring, or B, it was a plan. But a paying fan, no, there's no way you should touch them. And the same thing, like vice versa. As a promoter, as a guy that used to work I don't know if worked, when I was younger, but I owned security companies. No, I wouldn't have done it. Now, if it's a planted fan and she's like, okay, we'll do it, and adds to the atmosphere, then go for it. But if it's not a Plant fan, don't fuck with them. And then if you're a fan and you roll into the ring, no, you deserve to get the shit beat out of you.
If you jump the security railing, you deserve whatever the hell happens to you. But I'm just saying, I just don't know, especially if it's a kid. I mean, if it's an adult or whatever you're fucking with, it's an adult. But when you got a kid, and the parents were cool, it looks like the parents were cool. But I think maybe from the looks of it, I think somebody knew something like that was going to happen because the parents didn't appear to be all that fucking outraged. But, she was just crying, and I was just like, I just don't know if I could do something like that to make an 8-year-old cry. But, I'm a big softie at heart, I guess.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I don't think I'd make an 8-year-old's cry, but maybe we're just not the heels. We're not the heels we used to be.
No, we're not. We're getting soft in our old age, I guess. All right, but right now Banks is up 2-1 over Bayley. They come back into the ring. Bayley gets thrown into the corner. She tries to kick Sasha Banks in the face, but Banks reverses it and sets her up in it looks kind of like a lion tamer. It's like a Boston crab, and started kicking her head and kicking her hand, looking like Bayley looked like she was about to tap, but somehow she managed to reverse it into like a roll up. Gets the pin, boom, tied up 2-2. Then we start to go home here. It gets insane. You got about less than 5 minutes left. They go through several sequences with the Banks statement. They're really selling Banks. She gets her hand injured. I mean, Bayley takes her to the outside, slams her hand into the ring steps, does it a couple of times, hits it again. They manage to get back in. They start doing several sequences with the Bank statement with locked up, some reversals. We've got, I think, like 2 minutes left. Bayley's trapped in the Bank statement. It looks like she's about to tap, or she reverses out of it. Tries to go for it on Banks. No, hits it again. Banks could not completely lock it in because of her injured hand. Bayley manages to power out of it, lock her in her own submission hold. Submission hold is pulling back on her injured fingers since she's unable to tap. You actually hear her say, "Yes, I tap out, I give up," or whatever. As time expires, boom, Bayley gets the win. Just after that verbal tap. Like literally 3 seconds later, match is over. Bayley wins 3-2. The crowds, everybody's on their feet. And then Dave, this is what really surprised me.
I just want to stress that this match was magical. It's a must watch. It's pro wrestling at its finest.
It was pretty good. Now I will admit there were some botch spots in this, but they did a great job recovering from it. And I don't think this match was. I'm not saying it was bad. Don't put fucking down the torches and pitchforks. It was not a bad match. It was a good match. I'd recommend you check it out. I don't think it was as good as the Brooklyn match, but it was still good. I just think the Brooklyn match was just a little bit better.
I just want to add to that. I agree and disagree. I think in ring wise, the Brooklyn match was better. I think atmosphere and telling story, this match was better. So I guess it just depends on what you're looking for.
Dave, I think I'll agree to that. I'll agree with that statement. In-ring wise, the Brooklyn show was better. Atmosphere and emotion wise, I think this match was better in that respect. So yeah, I could agree with you on that. But the thing that surprised me was after the match was over, they cut up to the ramp. Everybody, roster. I'm talking the McMahons, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, the entire NXT locker room, William Regal. Everybody is out on the stage. Everybody's out there applauding them. Finn Balor's out there. Got Samoa Joe. The rest of the women's division. They even brought in Becky and Charlotte. They were there. Everybody was just applauding them. Sasha's going out of the ring. They present her with a bouquet of flowers, and she's crying. Referee raises Bayley's hand. She's crying. She's looking around. Everybody's just chanting, you deserve it. This was, wow. It was a very emotional moment, and I just kind of wish they would have hung on it a little bit longer. I really do. I really do wish they would have hung on because I can imagine just how it must have felt to be there. But if it, I can only, if it looked that good on TV, I can only imagine what it looked like to be there live when all that was going on.
Yeah, it must have been a great experience to be there live. One thing I just want to say is I like when Bayley first came out, she gave the 4 horsewomen to Charlotte. I thought that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was just nothing but respect and nothing but just fucking awesomeness. And it just shows. But Triple H definitely there handing flowers and stuff. And I'm going to be the negative guy because it's such a positive night. How the fuck do you go back to Monday Night Raw and look Nikki Bella in the eye? How do you book that? Like, as a human being, how the fuck can you watch what happened there in your art, in your fucking ring, in your fucking company, and then be like, oh yeah, Nikki Bella, you're gonna title shot next? I don't know how you can fucking do that. I have no idea how anyone.
Yeah, I just think they completely botched it. I think they completely botched the women's revolution up on Raw because they brought it, and I agreed with bringing Boom, throwing in Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky in at one time to shake things up. I completely agree with that. The thing I didn't agree with was, okay, we're going to divide up now into 3 teams of 3. So pick your tag team partners, and we're going to have a series of matches every Monday and every Tuesday night for Raw and SmackDown, and we're just going to keep doing that for the next couple of months. No, I think that was I think that aspect was a dumb move. And now now the fucking shit trying to work around Nikki Bella. I think that's just become a huge problem.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna go through some live comments real quick, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. We're 3-1. I think we got a thumbs down. I guess we got a Nikki Bella fan. Damn you, Big Show. Let's see. Where did you leave off? Did you read Kevin Eric Snell?
Yeah.
I'll start from there.
Yeah, go ahead and read him. I don't think I had him.
I got the feeling Kana walked Dana through a handful of basic Japanese women wrestling spots they could do, like the synchronized wrist lock thing before the match. Congratulations, Dana. She didn't blow any of the spots, but we know who gets the real credit. And by the way, anything Dave learns from Kana will have to be pre-programmed later. Oh, Dana learns. I thought it meant me. Dana. Like, what did I learn from Kana?
Had to be deprogrammed later.
Yeah. Trey Parker says, Koco and Boom Boom, so happy you guys are live reviewing this. I appreciate it. You're my favorite wrestling review show on YouTube. Thanks for the kind words.
Thank you.
Kansas match actually made me cry. Most glorious.
Kana's.
Oh, Kana's. Okay, Kana's. Got it. Not Kansas. That makes a lot more sense. Everything from his presence to her moveset to the outfit to her mannerisms is just perfect. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of hers. I haven't felt this way about a wrestler since I was a little kid. She's like a superhero come to life. And goddamn, did she get over or what? I'm so happy, yeah. And hopefully it continues.
Yeah,
if this is what wrestling is like in Japan, I've been missing out big time. Yeah, give it a shot. There's some really, really good professional wrestling. I think it's the best wrestling in the world. I honestly do. I don't just because I live here. I think it's the best wrestling in the world. You have New Japan. You have Dragon Gate. You have Stardom. There's a lot of great. There's so much great wrestling here. It's almost impossible to keep up with all of it. I see people that don't even live in Japan on Twitter, and they just follow everything, and I'm just like, dude, that's amazing. If what wrestling is like in Japan, I've been missing out big time. Please grace me with some suggestions and promotions, matches to watch, keep myself caught up. Well, if you like women, context is everything. I think Stardom right now is the best. They have some Kana Pro stuff, but that's just kind of like Kana's a superstar. Let's all worship her. But it's still pretty good. And then you got New Japan and Dragon Gate. So those are the ones. Like if you're going to dip your toes into it. And Pro Wrestling Noah. I don't know. Pro Wrestling Noah is weird. Sometimes it's the best company in the world. Sometimes it's falling apart, going bankrupt. Best company in the world, going bankrupt. Best company in the world, going bankrupt. So Pro Wrestling Noah, it just depends on your style. If you told me what style of wrestling you like, I could give you because like if you like hardcore wrestling, they have Big Japan. All Japan is kind of suffering, but at one time they were a powerhouse. Alex the Sauce Boss, welcome back, sir.
He's back, baby.
Would you like the idea of Tyler Breeze partnering with Ziggler as heel? Yeah, that's not bad. Ziggler's stuck. He's stuck. Maybe they can unstuck each other. The idea of this group is something like the Lady Killers or two guys who think they're better looking than everyone else. Yeah, because Ziggler, what he's doing right now is stuck. I like this. Alex,
Yeah, I do like that idea. Now that you mention it, I mean, I could figure out how to do it. You know, you could have like an angle where eventually Rusev and Lana kiss and make up, and she ditches Ziggler. Ziggler gets pissed off. He gets heartbroken, and you know he turns heel, and boom, you have Tyler Breeze come up and join him. There you go.
Boom, boom. We're not doing so good. We're 4-2. We gained a like and we gained a dislike. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Joe O'Hare says, just turning this event on now, but wanted to make my like and tweet in now. We'll watch your show after. Appreciate it. Hope it lives up to the hype. I was in Brooklyn for Bayley versus Sasha Part 1. I have high expectations. I don't think it beats it in the ring, but I think it beats it as far as atmosphere and telling the story. Alex the Sauce Ball says, I think someone won the Wednesday Night Wars this week. The show was a win for me. Yeah, I don't know. We might be retiring the Wednesday Night Wars. So, we don't know. We'll just let it go. All right. Booms. Oh, at Joe O'Hare Comedy. He did tweet us. He's a man of his word. I appreciate that. Bam, bam, bam. I think we're done, sir. You want to wrap this bad boy up?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. I want to tell everybody, be sure to join us pretty soon. We're going to be doing reviews of possibly TNA, but definitely Ring of Honor. So those are going to be coming up within the next 24 to 48 hours, so stay tuned there. And, of course, you can always find us at KocoSports.com. That's KocoSports.com. It's your home for all combat sports. That includes boxing, mixed martial arts, pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, sumo wrestling, taekwondo, kickboxing, judo. If you can get your nose broke doing it, we got it covered there on the site. Be sure to check out our news and gossip section, updated daily, along with our very popular video on demand section. And also be sure to check out our secret project. Well, not so secret now, but we're doing a soft launch. It's a soft launch. We've got a few little bugs to work out of it, but so far it's good. So far, so good. It's called ProWrestling.me. You heard it correctly, not .com, .me. ProWrestling.me. It's kind of like a Facebook for professional wrestling fans. I know we've got a few members of the Internet Infantry have already signed up for it. Thank you very much. You put in news there. You can comment on stories. You can submit pictures. You can submit videos. It's just really fun community. Plus, we're looking for people, and we're looking at you, Internet Infantry. We're looking at people. Maybe write some columns. What you think about the professional wrestling scene. What your opinions are. We're looking for all kinds of things there, but everything starts with me at ProWrestling.me. So go there, sign up, and check it. Check it out. It's all fun. It's absolutely positively 100% free. And just have some fun with it.
So yeah, and right now it's just a soft launch. We're going to try to get as many of the most loyal Internet Infantry members part of it, and hopefully we can turn it into something special. And it's just going to be like, unlike Facebook, where not that I would ever do this, but if you do this, I think you're a scumbag. If you're real life friends and then you go on Facebook and you're like, oh, he doesn't vote for my party, I'm not going to be friends with him anymore. You don't deserve to have friends. You're a horrible human being. But you can avoid that because ProWrestling.me is just going to be about pro wrestling. Rick1982 gets this one in. Actually, I think, yeah, Rick1982, you're the last comment of the night. NXT TakeOver Respect was a huge win. Main event was awesome, where both ladies put on a great match. Love the tag team match from the semifinals to the finals with Dusty Rhodes Classic. Overall, a great show as always from NXT, and I'm looking forward to their next huge show in London. Me too. Well, thank you for the last live comment. Please like, comment, subscribe, because we got a week record of 4-2. We might fucking break 500 here. And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, and booms. Thank you for being part of the show, man. Thank you for being part of the show.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I enjoyed it.
Thank you, Internet Infantry. And with that, I am over.